Hey everyone, you're listening to the Grace Auburn Church Podcast. My name is Lee, and it is a pleasure to be back on the podcast this week. Today, we're continuing in our series asking members of Grace Auburn, where and how are you serving? What is the Lord doing in these different organizations and ministries? Local partner highlights is another way of thinking that the people of Grace Auburn all around our community are deeply involved in a lot of different things. And while they may not all be active, ongoing partnerships with the church as a whole, there are so many things that the people of Grace Auburn, as the hands and feet of the church, are involved in. And so we wanted to cast a light on them. And really in these conversations, the hope is to do two things. One, highlight that ministry specifically or that organization specifically, but also give testimony to the goodness of God in leading his people to do things outside of the church, in the community, really serving as a light on a lampstand or a city on a hill. And so today, we're talking about Mercy Medical, and I'm joined today by Brooke Daniel, Mary Kate Nabonette, and Sarah Coolers. Welcome, ladies. Glad y'all are here today.
It's good to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Agree.
All right. So we're going to do a couple things. One, I want people to hear y'all's stories, even if in brief. And the goal really is for us to have a conversation in such a way that people feel like they were invited to the table, or they were sitting down and having a cup of coffee with you asking, hey, tell me about Mercy Medical. Tell me about how you got involved there, that sort of thing. But to kick us off, Sarah, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
I'd love for you guys to share with the members of the church, who is the primary audience. We know that so many people share some of these and send them out to whoever, but the goal is to spur on and stir up the faith of the members of Grace Auburn. And so I'd love for you to share a little bit about you, a little bit about how you got to Grace Auburn, and then we'll go around the table before we get to Mercy Medical.
Okay. Well, my name is Sarah Coolers. My husband is Patrick Coolers. And honestly, we ended up at Grace Auburn because of a long friendship with Matt Dean. Patrick and Matt worked together with Grace. It was called,
Grace Campus Ministries.
Grace Campus.
Yes.
Yeah, back
Yes.
20 years ago. And that was a long time ago. Matt actually married me and Patrick.
Nice.
We were his first wedding.
What?
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
We
All right.
were. And in 2005. And when we heard he was starting a church here, we were actually in a church family that we loved. And so I was kind of upset that he was starting a church, if I'm honest. I was like, no, I want to go there, but I love this church family.
Yeah.
COVID happened. Things happened. We actually moved into Auburn, far from where we were. It felt far anyway. And so logistically, it made sense to come to Grace Auburn, and kind of coming out of COVID, it was just that was the time when we transitioned here, because we really wanted to partner with Matt and April, who we knew and loved.
Yeah.
And be part of their church family.
Okay. Right on. Mary Kate, what about you guys?
Yeah, so we have been in Auburn for about 15 years, and a couple years ago, we're looking for a church home. I guess I should back up and introduce myself. I'm Mary Kate.
Yep.
I'm married to Dreher. We have 2 boys. But a couple years ago, we were looking for a new church home, and actually knew Sarah and Patrick.
Okay.
I visited here, visited some other places, and Grace really felt like the most genuine and authentic, and we were getting true gospel message here, which is really what we were looking for.
Okay. I love that.
I would agree with that, too. Just hearing the gospel every week.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, I'm Brooke Daniel, and I'm married to David, and we have 3 teenagers. We're about to survive.
I would like to say I have 4 children. Go ahead. I did not add about my beautiful children. That was Sarah.
They are fantastic.
They did. They're wonderful. Brooke, back to you.
Okay.
Yes, we're about to have our first senior, and then another senior.
No.
I know, we'll be empty nesters before we know it. But we have been in Auburn for about 8 years now. Before that, we were missionaries in Cusco, Peru for 7 years. And we've been at Grace Auburn for about 2 years. And we actually, though, we were in Auburn when the Grace Auburn community started meeting and praying at Ross Coffee House.
Yes.
And so we went to several of those first prayer meetings. So even though we were not physically members of the church body, we definitely were praying for this church plant. And so it's kind of neat, full circle, how the Lord brought us back to Grace
Yeah.
Auburn. And it's been a great community for our family, our children, and kind of what Mary Kate and Sarah shared.
Yeah.
Just very grace-oriented.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great church home.
Awesome. Okay. Well, you have all been a gift to this church in a variety of ways.
you.
What's that? Did you say thank you? You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you, Sarah. When we think about the work of ministry, oftentimes I think the temptation is to think that the Lord is using his church and that the most important things happen at church. And I think one of the things that I want us to remember as a church is that, yes, it is important that we gather and do all the things that you've said, to preach the gospel, sing of his goodness, respond in faith, pray together, baptize people, marry people, all of those things. But we have a lot going on between Sunday and the next Sunday. And so, in some ways, our vocations, or in a lot of ways, our vocations are ministry, whether we are a nurse or a dentist or a doctor or a lawyer. You guys have the gift of working in vocational ministry outside of the church for Mercy Medical, you guys being Brooke and Mary Kate. You volunteer, Sarah, at Mercy Medical. So I'd love, starting with you, Brooke, just to share, what is the mission of Mercy Medical? How did you get involved there? What is your role? Some of those types of things. Let's start big picture with Mercy Medical as a whole in terms of what it does in the community and its mission. And then we'll get into kind of what you guys all do there as a part of that mission.
Awesome. Well, the mission, I have it written down so that I wouldn't mess it up.
Read it.
All right.
Go ahead.
It's long.
The mission is to glorify God in our community through sharing the good news of Jesus Christ and by providing compassionate health care for the uninsured. To unpack that a little bit more, in word, it's by sharing the gospel to all those open to its life-changing power, and then in deed and service by providing compassionate, excellent, and affordable health care for the uninsured.
Awesome.
So really the heart behind it is to share the love of Christ and to share the gospel message. And so we just get the opportunity to use healthcare and medicine as a vehicle for sharing Christ with others. And there are quite a few uninsured in Lee County, and we don't only see people in Auburn or Opelika, but the surrounding counties as well. And so who we serve, I would say first and foremost would be through healthcare, adults without health insurance.
Okay.
But then as a larger community of who we serve, with Auburn University being here, we have a lot of students that want to go into healthcare and they need observation hours to apply to schools. So we have quite a few medical students,
PA students,
nursing students,
Yeah.
pharmacy students that get the opportunity to see how healthcare can be used in a much larger way than just caring for the physical being. We're looking to care for the person holistically, ultimately spiritually. They would know Jesus. And then we also have this program called the Spiritual Encourager Program.
Okay.
And I think they serve our patients, but I think the spiritual encouragers, they would say they get so much out of it as well. And what that looks like is after a patient is seen by a provider, a volunteer spiritual encourager goes in and spends more time getting to know them and hearing their heart and what's really going on in their lives. And then they pray for them.
Right.
If the opportunity presents itself, they present the gospel. We pass out lots of Bibles, either in English or Spanish, give them other literature, try to connect them to other local resources or churches. We know we're just one little part of the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a huge blessing, though, for a lot of times the encouragers say they got a lot more out of it than they think the patients themselves did.
All right, so tell us, that again, that's I think a good overall of the mission itself. What do you do there specifically? What is your role? Mary Kate, you're next. We'll go around the table in terms of how you guys, what you're currently doing, how you got involved, maybe a little bit of that part of your story with Mercy Medical.
Okay. I am steward of operations, and so basically I kind of do all kinds of random things.
You run the place.
I really.
It's
but-
like a director of operations,
Okay.
but the terminology in Mercy Medical uses steward because Dr. Crosby wants us all to recognize that we are servants and we are stewards
Yeah.
of the positions
Yeah.
that we've been given. So Brooke is the steward of operations. Nurse Julie, who is basically the chief nursing officer as far as I'm concerned, is like the steward of nursing. I don't even know what she's
clinical
called.
operations.
But steward of
Steward of
clinical
clinical
operations.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. So
yeah.
that's why
I'm
this
tracking.
different terminology to help us keep a mindset of
Okay. Yeah.
we're stewards of
Yeah.
where we are. Yeah.
That's fair. I like that.
Yeah.
Which we should all, regardless of our roles, consider ourselves
Yep.
stewards of at least our time,
True.
if not of the position and role that we're in. And so, thanks, Dr. Crosby.
I know.
We'll
he
take
is,
that.
He is.
Like
yeah.
he thought it through.
He did.
He did.
Yes,
Okay.
he did.
What does that mean in terms of, wow, Mary Kate said you run the place. Specifically, I think it'd be good just people to know, what do you do on a day in, day out basis? Whatever you want to share, however you want to share, or you could pass to her since she put you on the spot saying you run the place.
Well, I do a lot of administrative things.
Okay.
That's it.
Funny enough, I'm a physical therapist, but
Okay.
I'm not using my degree in physical therapy, but rather I'm using the gifts that God's given me of administration.
Fair.
And so I do human resources. I write a lot of grants. I pay people. I hire people.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say hiring and firing, but
Somebody's got to do it.
Just general operations.
Okay.
Finances, budget.
Okay. Mary Kay, what about you? What is your role?
So I am the steward of communications.
All
so
right.
I do the marketing and the social media and manage the website and the email newsletters. I think, and Brooke can correct me, I was brought on about a year and a half ago
Okay.
because the ministry's been around for about 20 plus 25 years. And there are still a lot of people in the community that don't know that it even exists.
Okay.
So doing a lot
That's
of that
true.
outreach and just sharing who we are and what we do, kind of growing that reach that's my goal.
And she's excellent at it.
What has been, I believe that, what has been, I did not prep you for this question. What's been the hardest part of that? Like anytime there's something that exists and it's been in some ways a staple in the community to come in years in, decades in at this point in your case, to try to breathe life, not into the ministry itself, because the ministry's doing
Right.
what it does. And it's known by the people it serves. It's known well, right? In terms of other churches or the university or VCOM or any other, what's been the hardest part about trying to breathe life into spreading the word, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I would say trying to find that balance because there are so many nonprofits and organizations doing wonderful things in our community, but trying to make sure we're all working together. We're not competing against each other. So trying to find that balance of how can we work together as a nonprofit community to really get our messages out together.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. Sarah, you are not on staff.
I'm not. I'm a volunteer.
Tell us what you do with Mercy Medical.
I am a nurse practitioner.
Oh,
That was my Siri, not yours.
It was his. No, Sarah sounds like Siri. I bet that's it.
I'm turning
Hey,
it.
Sarah, that's it. That's
Stop
what
it.
happened.
Stop it.
So,
All right.
anyways,
All right.
I was in a community. I will just tell you how I ended up at Mercy
Yes.
Medical. I had heard of it, honestly, years ago, 20 years ago when I decided to be a nurse. I thought, I'm going to do medical missions. I'm going to go volunteer at some place where they need a medical volunteer or something.
Mm-hmm.
And worked as a nurse for a long time, got my nurse practitioner degree. As I had children and kind of moved out of clinical work, thankfully my husband is providing for our family, and I don't have to work as much as I once did. So I had the freedom to stay home as a mom, and then but also realized I needed to keep up my certification.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had to have some hours for that. But I was in a community group with Hannah Waters, who was cleverly not here to talk with us today. I think she probably dodged that. She's like, "No, that's going to be awkward." She said no. But anyway, we were all wondering. We
You
were
can
doing
email
great, though.
Raina at graceauburn.church.
I think Raina
to ask.
emailed her, and I don't think she responded. I don't know. Anyway,
No,
Hannah.
you-
So this
We're
is
not
the
calling
story.
you out, Hannah.
You can file
Hannah?
your. I'm saying you can file your complaint.
I don't
with
have
Raina.
a complaint.
All right.
Oh, I'll complain to Hannah. We're
Okay.
friends.
All right. Fair.
That's how I ended up at Mercy Medical.
Okay.
That's my point. So Hannah was in my community group, and her son Benjamin left a sippy cup. This is true. Left a sippy cup at my house, and I was like, well, I'll just bring it to you. I had to drop Mary Crosby off at Lakeview Preschool anyway. and she was at Mercy Medical. So I bebopped over there, and I ended up in a conversation with Nurse Julie. My sister used to work with Nurse Julie years ago at Women's Hope because my sister works for the pregnancy center in Montgomery now. But anyway, she runs that. So I started talking to Nurse Julie, and I'm like looking at, I know Bethany, my sister, had talked about Nurse Julie, and I'm like, oh, I know you. I said, I think we know each other. My sister is Bethany Garth. And she was like, oh my gosh, I know Bethany. So that, and then I just ended up volunteering. It was just like a God thing. I felt like that I showed up with the cup, and there was Hannah, and I had heard about it. And it just kind of worked out because I needed some hours and they need providers. So I've been going once a week for a few years. I go just for a few hours a week. Did I answer the question? Have I like really extensively? Did I miss part of it? Was there anything that have I chased a rabbit? Is what I'm asking.
You are a nurse.
I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse practitioner. So what do I do?
And you volunteer.
I see patients.
Yes. Okay.
I'm their doctor.
You are their doctor.
I'm not a doctor, but I am the primary care physician.
Yes.
I'm their primary care provider. Is what I'm trying to say.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
I'm going to put
prescriptions for them if they need a refill. That
absolutely.
Kind of thing.
I'm going to put this question on the table, and whoever wants it can grab it. I'd love to hear, and I think you can all point at each other. How have you seen? And this could be a story. It could just be your own personal experience. It could be chasing whatever rabbit you want to chase, Sarah.
I'm really good at that.
I'd love to hear you talk about the Lord's goodness and kindness, where you've seen Him at work. Whether it be the ministry as a whole or a specific story, obviously not breaking anything confidential, but just how have you seen God moving in and through Mercy Medical, whether that's from a HR standpoint or just a big picture standpoint or things that are different now, or maybe, I don't know, I'm kind of rambling in terms of the question, so I think I'll just circle back to the original. How have you seen the Lord at work through Mercy Medical? Come on.
Got cold feet.
Well, I would say coming more from the operations standpoint, I work a lot with the volunteers and the providers. And so I think the medical students and the students that are trying to get into like PA school or things like that, they come in as a volunteer like thinking, oh, I'm just going to get my hours. And then I think it changes the way that they view medicine. Yeah. And it changes the way that they why they want to pursue medicine and what they're going to do after they receive their degree, whatever that degree is. And so we have our first full-time provider. She was a student and she volunteered at Mercy Medical. And then during PA school, she shadowed providers, and now she's our first full-time provider that's paid on staff. That's awesome. And her heart is for patients to know Jesus. Yeah. And she could get paid a lot more working somewhere else because we are a nonprofit. And but her heart is for the gospel work. Yeah. And so it's really neat to see our prayer is that as these students and volunteers go out, that they, they're probably not going to move back to Auburn, Opelika area, but that they would be lights wherever they go, continuing the work of sharing the gospel through medicine.
That's good. How about y'all?
I would say kind of in a similar vein, watching those full circle moments with patients. One of the patients that we interviewed for our breakfast video, he had been incarcerated and was released from prison on a medical furlough? Is that what he called it? But he found the Lord in prison and came to Mercy Medical because he didn't have insurance after he got out of prison. And anyway, went through that whole process, and now he does prison ministry. Oh, wow. And just watching that kind of full circle moment for these patients is just beautiful to witness.
And has health insurance. Like he's no longer
a patient because he has insurance now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's good. I guess I feel like I see the Lord work in little things. Like I'm not there enough to necessarily know what happens with a patient because I only see about 4 a week. So 6 months from now, I might not know what happened to a patient I saw 6 months ago. all I can do is be a vehicle for God's love in that visit. I don't always know the whole story. And people come broken. They come broke. Like they don't have any money.
Right.
Or horrible. I mean, there's just sad stories to just listen to them and be there for them. I was thinking about this question because you'd given it to us, obviously, before this moment where we're being recorded. And now I'm panicking. I guess I was thinking, sometimes it's easier to show love to a patient in that brief moment with them when this is my 15, 20-minute window and I can be patient and be kind to you. It's sometimes harder as a mom.
Okay.
To let God work in you. You know what I mean? With your children, to just be that patient and that kind. And so anyway, I was thinking about what is the Lord, sometimes it's even a break from that to go to Mercy Medical and give my undivided attention to being with someone who's hurting and listen and hear their needs. But sometimes when we're, I think, in the daily life.
Yeah.
So that is an encouragement to anyone, I guess, who's listening. Mm-hmm. Whatever you're, wherever you are, whatever you're doing every day, you have a chance for God to work and to move.
I think, too, you've talked full circle about not only providers, whether they begin as students and they're looking for hours or they are already a provider and they're volunteering, or full circle for the patient having come out of whatever, whether it was a first time or a cycle of brokenness that they just can't get out of. In so many ways, when people say, and we talked about this a little bit before we started recording the podcast, I think it's important for people to know, whether you're coming in to med school and you're saying maybe something very similar to you made a statement of, I became a nurse knowing that I wanted to do some version of medical missions. And I think when we hear that phrase, we often glamorize the idea of it being somewhere else.
Absolutely.
And if nothing else, I think it'd be really good for you guys to maybe chat about this for just a few moments of how is what we think of there happening here, and how is it different? How is it the same? I don't know. I want to put that again. We talked about this a little bit. I didn't say I was going to ask this to you guys. I'd love to hear you talk about how you've seen, because I don't know about the two of y'all in terms of overseas work. I know you guys lived overseas. You go back consistently to Peru to do that very thing. How do you see that playing itself out here? And maybe for someone who can't go to Peru or can't go to Uganda, how could being involved, and we're going to get to the needs of Mercy Medical here in just a minute. I think this is kind of a tie to that. How could being involved with Mercy Medical here change their lives? Because I would say the bulk of people listening to this podcast are not in a place where they need the care of Mercy Medical.
Right.
But they have the opportunity to be involved in a way that's probably going to flip their world upside down in some way, shape, or form. So how have y'all seen that playing out of here versus there, similarities, differences?
I always thought I wanted to do mercy ships. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
And I don't know when, while I was at Mercy Medical, it occurred to me, Mercy Medical, Mercy ships. And I'm like, this is kind of that. It's a different location and does seem less glorious, quite frankly. I mean,
Yeah.
It's more fun to think of traveling, and that's more exotic or exciting.
Yeah.
Rather than just being here with needs that are here.
Yeah, that's good.
And they're not glamorous.
Mercy Medical Ministry was founded by Dr. Dale Crosby, who's a local emergency room physician. And how it started was he had gone on an overseas missions trip to Africa. And on the way back, he was just broken over why it's great that I went overseas and served, but what am I doing in my own backyard?
Yeah.
People in my community, my neighbors.
Right.
And
he probably has seen them in the ER too, right?
That's right. And so that's how Mercy Medical started. And it does give people the opportunity to serve their neighbor. And it's not just medical providers.
Right.
But again, like that spiritual encouragers, people who just have a heart. I mean, we're all called to share the gospel.
Yeah.
Even if it's not your spiritual gift, we can all grow in the gift of evangelism or the gift of encouraging others. And so it's really an opportunity to sit down with a captive audience, in a sense, and enter into someone else's brokenness and pain and be able to offer hope, that the hope we're supposed to have an answer for the hope that we have.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's Christ.
That's good. All right, practically, somebody either wants to know more information. We'll link in the show notes to the website specifically that will more than likely put people in touch with you in terms of getting connected, plugged in, or kind of filtered out to the right person. Okay, yeah. I'm going to ask two questions at the same time, and you can take it however you want to. What are, from y'all's perspectives, whether it be from operations or communications or nursing, what are the needs, the biggest needs of the ministry specifically? Like when you think we need more of X, what is that? And then how can people specifically get involved? Is there a need for more volunteer nurses? Are there more providers or nurse practitioners? And is it specifically for providers, or is it specifically just for nurses to help along the way? Or is it in kind of y'all's world of operations? What are the needs? How many are there? All the things.
Don't we need spiritual encouragers?
Okay.
I feel like sometimes there's not one.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
We do
there's
have
not
each
someone
need.
there. And you said, what are the prerequisites, Brooke?
Someone with a heart that's willing to serve.
You don't have
That
to
love-
have a seminary degree or be in
No,
seminary.
But you do have to love Jesus.
All right.
If you're willing to talk to a person you don't know and pray with them, because
And
you
if
would
don't-
have to go into a room with somebody.
That's right.
Yes.
And if you don't feel equipped, though, we do have someone, a steward of spiritual encouragers, that
Yes.
oversees that department.
We
Okay.
haven't talked
And,
about what a spiritual encourager does, have we?
I did. I should.
She
Did we
did.
in
yes.
this?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
She talked
my
about
bad.
just what you.
They come in after the provider.
Yes.
Right.
She
Okay.
did.
I
She
couldn't
did.
remember.
So being a spiritual encourager
Earlier.
is an option. Is there a need for care providers at this point? Is that just kind of a
There's
revolving
always a
door,
need for
ongoing need?
providers. And that looks like sometimes it's just once a month.
Uh-huh.
Some people come once a week.
We have specialists who come, which is really nice,
What's a specialist?
like a dermatologist.
Okay.
We have a dermatologist who comes. They come once a month.
neurologist.
We have a neurologist now. Don't we
Okay.
have a pulmonologist now?
Wow. Okay.
We do not have any orthopedists. I don't know that would be possible. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But also, we would love to be able to expand kind of social work, and counseling. And we're in the process of building a new clinic in Opelika, and that will double kind of our square footage that we have right now. We're pretty tight in the space that we're in, so it limits what we're able to do. But we should have a physical therapy gym in there as well.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have a need for a lot of variety of providers.
Yeah.
If someone has a heart for something that they're wondering if would that fit in along with the mission, we're open to people bringing ideas to us and saying, hey, I have this heart for this part of this. Can you help me do it? Could I do it in and through Mercy Medical Ministry? And we would love to collaborate or work with someone to do that.
Okay. Well, this is all really exciting. I'd love if you guys have any final thoughts. Is there anything else you didn't get to share specifically, kind of in wrapping this up? Brooke, you're the one with notes. Is there anything that you're like, oh, he didn't ask this, or we forgot to talk about this, or maybe anything last minute to point people to? Obviously, we'll point people to the website. We'll point people to social. Is there anything else you guys want to share? You guys feel good about it?
I feel like you did a good job explaining in there how there's going to be a community room. You mentioned physical therapy now, but didn't you say somebody could come teach a nutrition class?
We're gonna have a large community room, and so
in the new building.
Okay.
And we would love to see whether it's Bible studies for patients or financial classes, nutrition classes, really anything that could help these patients build community, Christian community.
They need an
but then
exercise
also,
class.
Yes.
Hey,
There you go. They
therapy
could
room.
do a little.
There
Yeah,
you go.
they could do some aerobics.
All right.
And so if someone has a background in that or would be excited about that, we would love for, there's a lot of work to be done, but the laborers are few, right?
Right. There you go. That's fair. Okay.
Good one.
I feel like that's a good way to wrap that up. I think Jesus said it, we'll land it there. And Jesus said you will always have those among you who are in need. So between now and when Jesus comes back, this doesn't go away, but our response in the meantime matters greatly. And so we're thankful for y'all. We're thankful for Mercy Medical. Again, if you want to get involved, there are so many different ways that you can do that fits your schedule. Our community is one where there are plenty of people who are uninsured in need of medical care, but more than anything, they're in need of Jesus. And so if doing both of those things, both caring for the physical needs along with being possibly a spiritual encourager, is something you're excited about or interested in, please follow the links in our show notes. Ladies, this was fun. Y'all did great. Regardless
Thank you, Lee, for having us.
Regardless of all of y'all's, Sarah specifically, fear about being recorded.
I will not listen to this. And thank you.
And thank you. Well, you've been fantastic. Thank you for being here. Y'all are a gift.
Thanks, Lane.
Thanks.
On behalf of the Grace Auburn Church family, thank you for listening to the Grace Auburn Church podcast. If you'd like more information about partnering with us and our mission or ways that you can get connected, please go to our website, graceauburn.church.